Or is Max covering for you, or what? OB is covering. Okay, so Max and I will be on same bat time, same bat channel. Brendo's at the big desk.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome in. 2 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon that's turning into a pretty exciting one here as we head to the downside in a big way. Just seeing oil actually flushing through 83 right now, 2% to the downside as we keep an eye on that one. Yeah, Wework, wow, what a move. Just an absolute rocket through 25 cents today, back up to 30 now. Testing highs on just massive volume. Almost 500 million shares traded so far today on Wework. That is how, meanwhile, the rest of the board is setting up. With a couple hours left here still, pretty mixed, to be honest with you. We're looking at early strength in some of the tech names that has completely faded now to the tune of now 1% to the downside for NVIDIA. 0.7 there for AMD, Broadcom 1.2%. Everything else kind of flat. Apple, Google, Microsoft, Meta back to basically break even. This group has been very weak, the financials, over the past couple of days. Not the case today. We're trying to get positive here for Berkshire already. JP Morgan trying to get there, still 0.25%. BAC still in positive territory on the day as well, but only just. Tesla 0.5% now. Visa, MasterCard both green on the day. So there is a little bit of positivity depending on where you're looking, but it was all about inflation data this morning, if you missed it, at 8:30. The core number on a year-over-year basis still in line with expectations, 4.7 versus 4.7, 3.2 versus 3.3 on the headline number. So it was a little bit better than expected as far as that is concerned. NVIDIA, yeah, looking at its worst week of the year so far, if you can believe that, tells you a little bit about how unbelievable the year has been for NVIDIA so far. Yeah, OPEC releasing its monthly oil market report at 7 a.m. this morning, suggesting that more cuts could be coming. As far as OPEC is concerned, that had oil higher initially, but as I mentioned, seeing heavy selling coming into crude right now. Back to the downside, we were touching on a number of things. If you were with us in the pre-market this morning, top of the list this morning was Alibaba off of an earnings report. That for the most part was, I mean, mixed, I guess, the best way to put it, but back to the downside here along with everything else to kick things off this afternoon, guys.
Sorry, I didn't roll my YouTube didn't roll me over to the close show, so I'm there now. I just jumped into the chat here.
Roll Tide.
Every now and then, I don't know, I feel like every now and then I don't get rolled into the show. I have the stream up all day, so I can watch the chat during the midday and sometimes interact. But there you go. I'm in there now. A couple of things because they're moving. I just want to get it out of the way here. I did grab that Wework when it shot up to that 32 level. I know they were talking about it. I had a 25 short. Well, 24.5 to 25. I had a 20 short, but now at that 32 level, it's a big one. I'm in it. I just took some more out of 29 because it's looking pretty strong. Stair-stepping to the upside. It is absolutely on one. You'll see with the market coming down here, it's pretty much just like Roblox is back at 30 again, so we're kind of both in that, and I will be in Capri. That's a buyout. Although it's kind of following the market here, so I have to watch out for that one a little bit. We've got to get over to, I think you mentioned Alibaba. That's what Brendan said first. And what goes up must come down. There was no continuation for Alibaba, so just like last week, or it was 2 weeks ago, I guess, it could not make that secondary push through 102 off the 100 break. I had to break several times, just not a continuation. Then when it finally went, I didn't have it on. This pullback, and I have the 15-minute up. I mean, there isn't a green candle in the last hour and a half on Alibaba, and it's already blown right through that previous support level at 98.5. 96.5 is a big one. I mean, if it gets down there, that would be a dip, but this is a wild selling off in terms of a failed break, a good break, and then a failure double top of that 102. It was resistance the last time we got above 100. It looks like it's still resistance now, dragging pretty much. The other Chinese ADRs are following along. It's still positive on the day, Alibaba at 3.7, but that's because of the size of the gap. I think the more important thing to realize is where it was at the open, and it is a very big move to the downside. It goes flat on the day from the open pretty much any second now if it gets through $98. It's about 98 and change at the open. So, yeah, it's not green to red, but from a day trading perspective, it's green to red underneath 98 as far as I'm concerned. So that can be a bit of a line in the sand. Sometimes it matters more those open and close prices. I doubt we see 95 or 96.5, but if we do, those will be two good levels to try to pick it up there. So BABA, it's still coming to the downside. I'm hoping one name stops falling, and that will be R to the B to the L to the X.
Roblox, yeah, we're hoping the same thing here. Although we are long Roblox and now short AMD. I've got a bunch of positions on. We have a great call here, $2 in the money on Tesla as well off that 47 short. So we battled with some demons there. Got some out at 244, got some out at 244.50. It did dip down to 243. We don't. You know, I was waiting for that 242 area of concern. Current position right now, AMD into 110. So if it breaks too much harder than that, then we're going to get out of this one. But we want to be short something as the market. Oh, it's kind of going now. Yeah, I thought we could try to stay below this 50 period. So we're going to give it a little bit more movement here, and hopefully some of these names, including AMD, can stay underneath. Right now we're short at 84 here on AMD. So you know, well within our comfort zone here, trading, of course. And welcome back to the show. So yeah, good day on the midday. Good job on the midday show by the guys here today. It's great to have Max back. It's great to have everybody back with us now as well. We'll go through a couple names here. BABA earnings. Look, we got in and out of that one. Alibaba is still my #1 stock on the day, and we just left it alone. And I said this is what we would do. Breaks the pre-market high there of $100. We go long. Our best out is $100.70 there. Got a piece out, got it out, the rest out when it broke back down below for negative losses, for a loss, but nothing on the P&L really. And then now you're finally starting to dip back in a little bit here into 98.50, and look where that is. It just coincides right perfectly with the pre-market high at that time of 98. So you know, you want to take a long there. I think you got to give it a little bit more room to the downside here, but you know, 98 I think is a decent pickup for Alibaba. Still successful day, man. It's up 4% there today. Alibaba, despite some of the negativity from Joe Biden, they come through with a big earnings report today. It's a great quarter. We didn't have it on here because I wasn't sure if we were going to trade earnings plays today, but once it broke that 100, it was pretty clear and clean sailing. Also breaking 100 on the bottom side has been pretty good in the afternoon. It was back and forth there for a minute, but once it was VWAP and it broke it, then you see some nice downside pressure. And remember, Neil and I say this all the time, and that is that sometimes these names will start to barcode a little bit in the afternoon. So I don't think that's going to happen with Alibaba today, but if you are in a profitable spot right now, I would probably look to take something out as it's bouncing off 98.50, or just respect again VWAP at 100. You don't want it trading north of volume weighted average price here today.
All right, let's talk some Disney here. I was keeping an eye on this BSAQ as well. Yet another, get ready for another EV stock to join us in the market. 91.5%, back below 21 right now, but holding. This is going to be VinFast as of next Wednesday, I think it is. So they've approved the merger. This is a SPAC, 2.75 million share float on this SPAC, and they've approved the merger. It's going to be VSF will be the new symbol for VinFast coming up next week. There we go. Coming up next week, this doesn't have the symbol, but next week on the NASDAQ for VinFast, another EV stock. Let's talk Disney. Ends up being, I was busy during lunch hour. I didn't have a chance to have a look at this. Did you trade Disney?
Max was trading. Yeah, and it kept pumping to the high side. It's at 91.54, 91.79 high. They reported to yesterday, and it was a bit of a mixed bag, as we talked about this morning. Users, their streaming users, Disney Plus users, down 7.4% year over year, Brendo. They also had a quarterly loss of $460 million. Compare that to last year, where they had an earnings win of $1.41 billion. They're going to raise prices. They're looking to crack down on password sharing. So a lot of data there today.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen Disney having a day like this. Guys, up 4.6% here.
So I'm guilty of going from long to short in Disney. And sometimes, like the market, I've said this before, it's like, oh, if the market continues to trend so far to the downside, eventually even the strongest stock's going to pull back. I said it before, it was wrong today. There is the flat top break on Disney. I was long several times off the 90 level. I was adding at 90.5. I had several trail outs along the way. Then I just got stopped out of a short at 91.5 on Disney. And if you look at the daily chart, came in saying, hey, if you break this out to the long side, it's just got room to run. It's got room to 92, and then it's got room to 94. But, you know, when I looked at what was going on in the NASDAQ, And you know, you got to be able to admit it sometimes. Like the market just kept going leg down, leg down. You see it curl down. It's like breaking toward the low. I'm like, yeah, Disney's going to play catch up here. It's not going to continue its move. It's going to eventually follow the market. The NASDAQ and the ES, basically the same chart. Didn't matter which one I show. And it was just the wrong call. Sometimes it's okay to have a bias in the stock and stick to that bias regardless of what the market is doing. So it's going to happen, and rightfully so in the chat. It's just one that you should only go when it breaks that level. You want to only be long as many greens as you can have. And I see ScarJo Rabbit saying Disney and Lyft doing the same thing. Well, Lyft is up. I don't know if that's doing the same thing because Disney's kind of breaking out in the chart, but yeah, Lyft is up 5%, and it's very strong. I don't know that qualifies as the same thing. But yeah, up 5% on Lyft is pretty impressive. 4.5% on Lyft is pretty impressive. Maybe there's another take of that 11 level again today. Lyft suddenly, good look, ScarJo, because breaking out the top, if the market rallies from here, this has a chance to break out the top. I worry about that 11 level, but yeah, good catch. They're alike because they're at the highs of the day and breaking back out. I should never have flipped short on Disney. I should have just been patient and stuck with the long, but I did it, so I got to live with it.
Yeah. I just got stopped out a little bit there of AMD, and then we just got right back into it there as it took out that level right there. I should have got a little bit. What price did we get? We got 15s there on the punch out. Sorry, 17s. Oh, man, I should have given it to right there on AMD, 110. 110.30, 110.25. We'll take a little bit out now as it drops back down in, but that was not a great trade there to end the day. Disney, look, we talked about that. We talked about an 86 long on that name, and I'm just glad that for the long-term portfolio, we talked about this last night on the after show. You know, good report came through. Exactly what you wanted to see. The fear was that you break this 85 level. It didn't even come close to doing that. Not today anyways. It didn't yesterday as the report came out. But yeah, good move today for Disney. I like it. I like what they're talking about there, the ad-supported tier system. I think that, take a book from Netflix, take a page of a Netflix book there, do that. Netflix is making more money on the ad-supported tiers, so I feel like I'll probably cancel my Disney Plus. I don't even watch Disney, so maybe I won't do this, but I think that if there was any streaming thing to cancel, it would be Disney. But at the same time, it's like,
what about the kids?
The kids don't watch it either. Really? There's nothing on Disney, man. So we'll wait. They've seen everything. I think with the writer's strike, that's the whole thing about Disney. It's like it's tough to talk about content and stuff like that. The writer's strike is now 100 days old. Yesterday was the 100th day, which matches its 2007, 2008 strike day. And so I feel like they'll get something done, and then you might get, some new releases. I'm sure there's something in the pipeline that they're waiting to finish off. They've already talked about getting Marvel extended and Star Wars movies. They've extended those release dates. Like, I'm going tonight. My wife was invited to Blue Beetle there, and that should be a good one. That's not out till next week, but we got a little bit of a preview on that one coming through. So I don't know. Theaters are still good. I like Disney. I think there's a lot of people that will still stay subscribed, but good move. You stayed away from danger. I'm long the name. I think it's a great long-term investment. You just got to stay away from some of the politics, and hopefully the Writers' Strike and Actors Guild, whatever, will get all figured out sooner rather than later, and Disney can return north of $100 at some point.
Some big tech to head through the afternoon here. We've seen a little bit of a bounce in the past couple of minutes here as far as the NASDAQ is concerned, but overall it's been one of these days for big tech. Apple not really doing a heck of a lot. Here we are 0.1 to the upside after fading that initial move. Listen, there wasn't a lot of news or any kind of catalyst this morning as far as tech is concerned. A couple of minor stories, but interesting day coming off that CPI print.
Yeah, that's the thing, exactly with that. Today we saw a decent CPI print. Again, the core inflation sticky at 4.7%. Does that force the Fed's hand into another interest rate hike? We know these big tech names are very interest rate sensitive. I guess we'll have to see the rest of the year, Brendo.
Yeah, Frank Kaberna coming up here in about a half an hour. We'll get his take on what happened this morning. As he mentioned the last time we spoke, I guess this means we just kick it down the road to the next CPI release and see what that one turns up.
Yep.
When it happens, guys, any trades today for these ones?
Yeah, no big tech trades over here.
Look, I'm going to show you the chart, and then it's like, in the morning at the time, it felt really good taking $2 on NVIDIA. It did, I swear it did, for like 2 seconds, and then it ended up being the high of the day. But anyways, it was a strong upward trend, and at the time it felt like the right thing to do. I was even thinking maybe I'm flipping into the long above here and it's going to be a breakout day. It'll happen to you. Sometimes make the top wick and it's good. Sometimes make the top wick and it's bad. Sometimes make the top wick and you don't know what to make of it. And this was a trail out, by the way, too. I got trailed out here on NVIDIA. I'm zooming it out so you can see the extremity of that move. Like I said, it's going to happen to you. I kind of felt like this was going to turn into a bounce type of day. The market came all the way back in. What can you do? All you can do is really move on in that situation. I do want to point out, just going over to one of those names, if it wants to load here for a second, not necessarily faring super well today, but if you go to a higher time frame on Apple, let me just pull up my daily chart here because I know what it looks like if I use the tradable one. So here we go. If you look at the daily chart on Apple, oh, there it is. This bounce is getting really spicy off 177. So this was that high, the 2022 high. It broke out, consolidated off 177, and now you're making a base out here. So you've got this nice little temporary level, which is holding. And when Apple holds, it's kind of good for the market. Apple kind of is the market in some ways. So this is a good, strong bounce on Apple off the 77 level. I think you can look to that for an interesting base for the next couple of days here and just start thinking, if it makes a long, that's not a bad place for consolidation long on this stock. And if the market's at a key level, not bad as well. If we get back down there today, maybe a play off that bottom, as long as we hold on the futures, that can be solid for Apple. And as far as NVIDIA goes, it just wicked 425. Like now I'm kind of back into short mode underneath VWAP here and thinking if it can't get through VWAP, I should be shorting the pop somewhere in NVIDIA. It just wicked at 425. Maybe it is now.
Yeah, I just re-engaged in the short here. I'm short Apple, I'm short AMD, I'm short Google, I'm short Tesla. So how many CEOs do I got on there? Pretty much all of them there.
They're not CEOs.
No, we don't even have Elon on there.
Well, I don't know.
Why do we got Zuck but no Elon up there?
Because Tesla's not there. Yeah, but we don't have NVIDIA on that board. But Bill Gates doesn't even make any sense anymore. So
Google,
that's fine.
well, we have Google, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft. Okay, they're all there anyways. All right.
I still say NVIDIA should be, but
yeah, but the thing is, we have so many times. I think the point is that we often have Tesla by itself, maybe.
Yes, and then we have NVIDIA with the
and then
chips.
we have chip names by
I get it.
them damn selves as well. So you're still employed, Fabian. Don't worry. Okay, so let's just go over a couple talk here. I mean, obviously we're long Roblox. We've hit this a couple times. We'll talk about that later. That's not the big tech name that we're all worried about right now. All right, Apple. Apple, we'll ring the register a little bit on Apple. It's been a good one today for us, profitable-wise. Not for Apple, because Apple's about to go red again right now. We were long. Good trades, made money. Apple positive there. Drops back down in right now. Now we're going to go short off that. I was actually waiting for 179 up here to come into play. 178.80 to reshort this one, but right now you can see we're short Apple and in the money 23 cents. Let's just put a bid at 25. I like to always capture something on that side of things. All right, AMD's sort of something a little bit different of a beast here. Let me put some more trades out on AMD if we can, just to cover a little bit. So we just got rinsed on AMD right now. We were short, out at 110 before finally waiting. And again, it's like the more patient I get, just the better entries you get. And then the other thing about being patient is that when you're wrong, your exits are much more justified because you're so close. The biggest name that we traded today, and again, the number one name here on the desk for me, is going to be Google. And this is a story of patience as well. We're still short this name. We should have covered at 129.40. We only have 10% left, so it's not a big trade down here. But look, we put down on the sticky note 132. You know, the problem is by the time it got up there, we were short at 132, 131.50. So the fact that it came back in, took a nice profit. But if we just waited and only had these ticks, it would look much better. But we don't, so it's a nice move to the downside. I've been saying, and you can see here right from the jump this morning, right? My trade, and we're still short Tesla, of course. Here was my short on the TQQs. So we play that CPI number, we hit it down, it was good. Out, 20, 40, 60, 80, then out for flat once it takes that top. That was a 10-cent hit. Could have reshorted it, didn't. And as you see here, now we're starting the trend. It definitely is your friend. High, you know, lower high, making it again. So really, until we outtake this 200 period right here of 40.13 on the NASDAQ or the TQs, I still think we can go lower. That's why we're trying to leg into some of these shorts on some of these plays again. So yeah, look, tech, still gonna be a problem. I wanna be short all tech until NVIDIA. I wanna see what that number is on the 23rd. Then we maybe will flip our game up a little bit for now, but it's the TQQs, it's the tech game. Let's just be short AMD, see if it can fall back in below 110 here.
All right, plug. I put that plug falls this morning. To say the least, plug has fallen today. 17% now at session lows here, just sliced through 9 like it wasn't even there. Not good. I mean, margin the story again. You just can't guide downside in this environment. This is what happens. It's been that way. All earnings season continues to be with Plug Power here.
Yeah, I mean, they've absolutely taken on the chin today, but the analysts still like this. Look at this. Analyst Colin Rush from Oppenheimer has an outperform rating with a target of $21. He says, we believe the company is showing better than expected manufacturing efficiency and margins, even as fuel and service margins remain lower than consensus. The analyst from RBC, Chris Dendros, basically with an outperform rating and a price target of 12, he also says, we believe the delays in margin improvement are largely transitory and that the incremental spend this quarter will translate into improved profitability in the future. We have allergies against that word, I think, transitory.
I don't think we should.
A week and a half.
Plug, yeah, same story here. Plug reiterated 2023 revenue target, but ongoing project delays may continue to hurt them. Transitory for Plug today, guys.
What was the? I'll throw it back to Sharif afterward because he liked that name. Something's in my ear here, some sort of an echo, but it's all good. Now it's fixed. Thank you, guys.
That was weird.
I just want to know, Sharif, what was? I'm going to throw it back to you, and I just missed what you were talking about potentially. What was the catalyst that you were sort of looking for? Because I know you got in and out of it, so that's good. Good call on that. But did something change? Are you looking to get back in on a lower price, or what was your story there on Plug? And I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it was proof of concept of their hydrolyzer engine, Sean. So they actually got the patent for it, and it was actually proof of concept. They actually got it to work. Whether it works in real life doesn't really matter. They have to scale it, so that's why I got it.
But look at the daily chart. Like, I don't know where you got in or out, Sharif, but all I can say is congratulations. Congratulations! Oh, I mean, I'm dead serious because you have a stock that was trending to the upside, holding the 50 period, breaking out at every single way. If you have a catalyst, there's no reason not to like the stock breaking out. But you get out when something doesn't make sense or stops working. I mean, it's now pulled back 33% off of these highs, double top, now from $13.50 to $9. And when you save yourself money, saving money is as good as making money, man. And you know what? Actually, sometimes it's more satisfying. I completely agree with that. Sometimes it is just more satisfying. So good on you. I want to look at a potential flat bottom break underneath $9 today, but down 17%. The market's bouncing. It's hard to want to be short underneath 9. That's my issue. Like, it's right at the bottom. SSR down 17%. The market just went back into the green and is holding like 70 points higher in the NASDAQ. It's an awkward place to be short the bottom. But on the daily chart, underneath 9 looks like a short. So I'll probably sit this one out for now. I got to worry about NVIDIA, which is coming to the upside. I'm short 424 here on the way back in. As I said, the market coming back into the upside here, which means I should be like Roblox. Like, I don't know what's going on with Roblox. They can't even get to VWAP all of a sudden. So I'm going to get an offer out there. It's not as strong a bounce off the 30 level as it was before. I'm going to get an offer out in front of VWAP, but the market is bouncing upside. I'm going to stay away from a short underneath 9. Even if it's a flat bottom setup, the timing doesn't feel right unless I see the market breaking back down and making fresh lows, and I'll probably jump over to Plug and think about underneath that 9 level. But I'm into NVIDIA, giving it to 45 in here, looking for it to get 42, 43, 22, 23. 21 is a big bottom. 20 obviously has been the Alamo on NVIDIA. But if the market doesn't curl, we'll take the L on this short.
All right, NVIDIA. So we're talking about Plug Power. I haven't really traded that too much, and I agree with that. As Neil was saying it, that's why I was like, yeah, no, if saving money is actually better than making money because at least you can look back and be like, okay, I had this thought, got out, now I don't think you ever want to go long these names like a Plug Power or anything like that into earnings unless you sort of, have a great handle on what exactly they're going to report. You do have these issues, man. You saw with Upstart. Now here goes Plug Power. I don't know what the short float is, but it's probably pretty good on this one. Nice downside move. I feel like you're going to be coming into some areas here, but it's like about the proof of concepts. You might have to wait for that 750 area to get to the downside. We saw yesterday Roblox get flushed. Something similar to this, right? Like Roblox was at $40 or $50. How much?
21.
21, okay, so what's up to 21 Savage? 1350 downside there, bouncing off a 9 right now. This could be a good spot to start to leg in. We saw Roblox yesterday get crushed and then come out with some positive talk here today. So without knowing too much about that report, not great when this kind of happens and you just kind of bite the bullet. But again, Plug Power, the only EV space that I want to be in, and I keep saying this over and over again, is Tesla. So that's what I'm going to do, be in Tesla, although I'm short right now in that name. I like Plug Power, but again, yet another high-flying EV name that has its day, like Rivian yesterday in the EV space, man. Not great reports coming through.
All right, here's, speaking of Roblox, bottom of the board there, we had a number, I was just counting them up again. It was multiple positive moves this morning coming off of what happened yesterday. So all of these analysts clearly bought the dip after that plunge down to 30 yesterday, including Morgan Stanley upgrading to underweight to equal weight, or from underweight to equal weight, raising to $30 on the price target. So here we are. Guess what? At $30. So I guess they bought yesterday and maybe sold today. I don't know. That's a strange one.
$30 was an absolute level. You saw me on this one on the midday show. I did get bamboozled on this one, but the $30 level held, no question about it. Let's have a look at what Needham said. They slashed their price target, Brendo, from 48 to 40, but they maintained their buy rating after they grew bookings 22% year over year, but missed on EPS.
Yeah, I think it's 8 or 9 total as far as individual moves today. Also keep this in mind as well. There was that Kathy Wood note this morning we were discussing briefly. 865,287 shares exactly into the ARC fund of RBLX yesterday.
And Roblox, it did that weird thing yesterday where barcoded for, I don't know, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Flushed, came back, flushed, and then today it was barcoding off the same level just all morning long. It dipped off 31. Stat was the move to 31. It could not really get through 31 with any, like gusto. Like above that price, it wasn't a lot of buying. I was out of it on a trail and got back in here. It's really struggling to get back to the 30.5 zone. But if you look at the size of this gap fill, if it continues to hold 30, I think this is just a chance at a big reversal to the long side for the next couple of days. As long as it holds on to the 30 level, the more pressure it gets under from the market without breaking this, the better off it is, and maybe you're looking at a breakout. Because 35, that's a level at 35. You go out to the daily chart, and if it were to bounce back, previous support's at 33. If previous support turns into resistance, that's still 10% to the upside. I said the same thing this morning when it couldn't get past 31, but it looks pretty solid here. For that long, as 30 is going to hold, keep taking some pot shots at it. It's probably shortable if it gets into the 33 range, into 35, but until that happens, I think you move on to the next. The market is bouncing here, so I'm a little surprised on this bounce that you aren't already at the $0.50 on Roblox. Just very quickly want to point out, on Roblox, it's not one of those that benefits from a large short float. It's only 3.4%, so you don't really have that in your favor when it makes a bounce, but still working off the 30 level.
Look, it's not rocket science today on Roblox, man. We hit that short yesterday. It was a great trade. And then this morning, this is why I keep talking about it. I mean, we're putting in some work here. It's right here, Roblox. Grab that long off 30, right? And so we talked about that here. Start small at $30 just to make sure that gives it to you. We were looking at $29.50. You got everything you wanted today. So it's Sticky Note Nation. Stand up there. Your P&L's green if you've been following this today to a T. We don't have anything wrong on it. AMD hopefully can come back in, but that's what we're doing on Roblox. We liked it so much, we just got it again. again right now. So there's our first, here's our first trade on Roblox right there, right out the open. Came into 30, we grabbed it. We grabbed it at 925 there, but then it did hit again on the open. Nice move up, that's $1. We didn't get it, we just kept on going, and then we got it again just now as we wait. I'd prefer for this market to absolutely crash right now because I am short Apple, AMD, Google, and Tesla, but you know, like I said, why not just short the NASDAQ? But we'll wait to see right now. So Roblox, good little levels coming through. I like this name. Good level of $30. Nice upgrades. Roblox day 2 play. Keep those in mind for the next time. We had multiple day 2 plays today, like a Rivian. You know, you don't want to leave them alone. Palantir's been pretty good over the last couple days. And then there's Rivian again today with some pretty violent moves again off the open, straight to the debt. Well, not off the open, but once we broke back down through yesterday's levels, you see a nice downside push there for Rivian. 2150 now, a little spot for them. But yeah, Roblox, keep it going, man. We like that stock. Down at $30 is a little bit better. The levels for Roblox, you just go back all the way back. Well, now it's starting to go upside, so that's good. Nice little bump right here for it. But on the daily chart, it goes back to, I believe it was the beginning of the year. We talked about it retracing all the way back. That's December lows right here that we're just testing right now. So unless you get an, you know, doomsday again sort of thing, that's down here at 25.26. That sort of resisted that, kind of like Disney. So you missed the ultimate bottom, and maybe now you just landed into support. So I like Roblox here moving forward, especially if you want to take a shot. Give it $5 down to 25. You could have $10 back up.
Yeah, rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk by everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment. Check out the QR code, bottom right corner of the screen, guys. Take advantage of this if you haven't. Great deal, 20% off. Trader TV 20. Shout out to our friends over at Trade Ideas.
Check it out. You've seen me pull down, show you like short float or sometimes some other metrics. I got scanners on my Trade Ideas. I even have a Halt scanner so I can see when that BSAQ is. That's a ridiculous stock. When it opens up and when it halts again, we can't trade it. So anyone that asks about BSAQ, I know it's going crazy. It's restricted on our platform. Any stock that has too low liquidity ends up being restricted. If it has news and does a lot of volumes, it can be requested at Day Trade the World to be unblocked if people want to trade it. Now, I haven't put a ticket in because I'm actually not interested in trading that today. I don't like the spread on it. I want to go over to Wework for a second because it's finding a bit of a base here at 96 or 26. If it was 96, that'd be nuts. But the 31 short is finding some strength back in front of VWAP. I thought this would be a VWAP retracement. I just took some out there again because it looks like it's gearing up for another press back toward the high. I don't think I want to give it all the way to the absolute top on WE. It is squeezing to the upside. It was a monster level at 32. I waited till it gets, essentially always going to wait till it gets to a real level to put a trade on. So I'm short off that 17 level from earlier. I short the 20 level, which is pretty obviously, and then you have that 24.5, 25, which is a pretty obvious level. And can I pull back? I guess I got to go to the daily chart on WE, which is a little awkward to be able to see it, but there's 32. So on the daily chart, the last big level on the bounce was that 32. Looks like it's trying to head back into the upside. We'll see what happens on WeWork, but if it gets to VWAP, I am out of this sucker for sure. While all that was going on, NVIDIA came down in there, touched the bottom end of the range, and now it's just barcoding. So top to bottom, it does have a dollar scalp range, but I need this breaking down in. Get past that 23, get into the 22s, and then we can start cooking. But if we get the pop back into 25s, I'll probably reshort this one. If it gets to VWAP, it could absolutely explode. And just keeping an eye on Apple here, it is really going, I got this wick I got to get rid of, but it's just going sideways of a higher low at 178, kind of priming up like the rest of the market is doing. That starts to press up. It might be an easy decision to not reload a short if I see one of these big boys break out before NVIDIA.
All right, we just got some more short in AMD here right now. I'm a little bit nervous because we have PPI tomorrow, so if it comes out sort of hot the way CPI did, or at least better than expected, not hot in a worse way, then maybe we do get some downside push here. Or some upside push, thinking that, hey, we had a nice move, okay. We just reshorted, okay. All right, we just reshorted AMD right there at 30s, at 40s, sorry. So let's, I'm on the bid there at 23. Let's see if we can get some out. There it is, yes, sir, okay. Nice trading here happening. We just reshorted again, AMD off the 200 period. We just keep covering at the 50, hoping that it drops down. I'm basically covering very, very small pieces every single damn time. We also have some bids in the teens. I'm gonna put one at 20 again. I'm basically just getting out like 5% every time. I don't know why I'm doing that. I think that there's a bigger move coming, so let's hold. There's another move there at 20. Next bid at 14 right now. Neil was talking about Apple. You know, your boy's already in that one, so let's go. 40 cents in the money now on Apple. $2 in the money on Google as that's trying to break 130, and there it goes. Right now again to the downside. And then just to talk about Tesla, I really like this 247 short. I mean, we really hit it multiple times there. Then it came back. We actually tried to go long at first down there at 246. Ripped up, covered it, wasn't a problem. Now we're downside on Tesla. Let's see if it continues to work. Hoping that we can get something a little closer to 247. As long as these futures crack, I mean, everything is dependent on the futures cracking, but if they do, then I feel like we've got something here. So let's see if we can retrace back down here to these lows, man. 15.2 is what we're at right now. It is the 50-period moving average, needs to break it. And that's the rest is history. I think if we do break it and we can hang out here even for 5 minutes, we probably do test those bottoms as anxious hands may dump ahead of what is expected tomorrow. Did we get that fill at 14s? No, as if. I go over and I see 15 on the bid, and there we go, okay. So that was good. So let's spin the money right there. As we get that fill, there it is again, another reloaded position on that. Now we're 50 cents in the money on Apple. We're now 30 cents in the money on AMD as it retraces back up. But so far, so good here, holding these shorts, hopefully into the close. Don't really want to cover anything, but if that NASDAQ takes this 15-ish area, 240 or so right there, then I feel like it's forcing your hand to cover, right? Because again, you don't need to be short. It's just I like the short right now.
It's lower highs.
That's my that's my bias. I think you got to have some kind of a bias here into the close, especially with another number coming tomorrow. So as long as we can stay under. See, look at that. We didn't stay under at all. We dipped, then came right back up. So I don't know. I guess this is just going to have to be a very, very patient play here as we hope. It's never good to use the word hope. I mean, I think we're strategically short now. Let's just see if it pays off.
So I just took another leg out of Roblox here underneath 30. Got back underneath 30. Couldn't get to VWAP. I took another leg out when the market looked like 30? It was going to be weak. 30.30. Sorry.
30. Okay.
$30.30, not $30. If it gets under 30, I'm stopping out underneath that. But NVIDIA just came down there. It kind of looked a gift horse in the mouth at that 23. Next time I'll take it out and get some out there at that 23 level. I want to show you. I'll talk about this closer to the close. But there's two. There's two penny stocks that are being deleted from the market today. I'm kind of in both of them. One of them is AMRS. It kind of had a double top up here. You'll see I'm short at 11. If it breaks me up, I have some bids if it gets down to the 8s and 7s. I've already taken some out at 9. And then the other one is PTRA, Proterra. So both of those are being deleted from the market. And we'll see. Maybe they come out selling bounces. I was in the other one yesterday, and it kind of didn't really go anywhere, but it didn't go against me. This time they are trending into the downside. What else? Okay, fine. I will look at. It's moving, and obviously there's people trading BSAQ. We've already said this. It's blocked in our system, so I will not be making a trade. We will not be. Very unlikely we'll trade. I suppose if it does something really crazy, maybe put a request in if it goes to $100, because I think that would be a stupid short, obvious short. But it's moving right now, bouncing off of the 20 level. It's been doing a nice stair-step action. The spread is currently 45 cents on a $20 stock. So good luck with that. And that's like 100 shares at each level. So it's a 45-cent spread, and you can execute 100 shares on each side of that. So there's not a lot of liquidity on this name. If it goes into a halt, I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know what the tap is. We can see it. We can quote it. We are just not going to trade it. Carvana's moving, apparently.
Everything's moving, I feel like.
Oh, no, it's not really.
40?
No. It's still underneath 40. Like 40 was the big linchpin level. Like when it broke 40, it was all red candles till it got to 38.5. So if this breaks back out 40, I think that's pretty bullish. But underneath 40, that looks pretty weak for me. on Carvana. It needs to reclaim that level as well. When you look at if you look at the daily chart, it is making a bit of a double bottom, and that's pretty much right at that 40 level. So big level on the daily, big level when it got here originally. I think until it gets back above there, it almost feels like a short off of that level.
Took a little bit of money there. We'll drop down that money, try to catch it. On Apple. So Apple just came back in there. We took a 178 flat fill all day, every day, man. If it comes into that, we were going long there. I like it. Good trade. Well, we're going long down here. So if it ever comes back into 170, I just put in some more bids down here in case it does go. But now you're seeing the market bounce back up again. So, you know, having a problem, but Apple did fall off that bottom. There it is. Ooh, I like that. After the close. Nice little banner there. Thanks for putting that up. I didn't know that was happening, so that's a good one there. Join me after the close today. We'll have Daniel Shea, who's messaging me right now. She's also short right now the NASDAQ. So I guess she's watching and seeing that I'm short basically everything. So yeah, short the NASDAQ might be right here, right now. I don't know. We're short some names here. We'll see if we can take some names on this play. We did get out some more Roblox there at 30. We have a decent amount of shares, so every time it comes up here, man, I'm just going to keep on getting it out. And that's sort of, you know, how I'm trading, trying to use a little bit more shares, trying to be more accurate on the entries, and then trying to scale them out on the way out. And then, you know, if it does go back up to VWAP, I still want to try to have half of everything when we get retraced back to key levels. So that's what we're doing. We still have more than half of AMD on these shorts. So there it is. The heck is that? Oh, gifted memberships. Yeah, what's up? Thank you so much. Need a stonk right there. Thank you so much. 5 gifted memberships. Bears vs. Bulls can help you guys get that. I think it's a setting that you need to have there so you can grab those gifts. But thank you so much for those 5 memberships. Need a stonk. If you need a stonk, go find Need a Stonk in our chat because he may need one or he may have one for you. All right, AMD. Look, I said we wouldn't get too much out. I'll take another 05 right there as it comes back to O's. My next bid is 90. My next bid after that is 75 downside. Then after that, we'd have no more bids. So let's now let this thing drop down. We have AMD, we have Google, we have Tesla and Apple. So we're short everything. The Google trade is, of course, now $2 in the money. So there's that one happening right now as well. The Tesla trade is $2.50 in the money. And those of you that hate that, you don't have to worry because there's no more coming. Those are the ones that we have multiple dollars in the money. Hopefully we can add Apple to that. And if we're able to add AMD to that, then yeah, you're going to see a pretty happy camper over here. So let's just wait on it. So far, so good. That VTGN, you might be right about that one. What's a vegan trader? What are you, my daughter? Let's go find out right now what's going on with VTGN. Of course, they did report earlier today. It's a nice move, holding 10%. We are working on having them possibly come through as a guest, but that was a huge move up there. Crazy blowouts in the pre-market up to 58, 60 bucks there just a couple days ago. It was Monday on the phase 3. And then now you're just kind of, well, you can't really see that. Hold on a second. Kind of barcoding right now at 7 bucks. So, you know, worth a shot probably if you wanted to get something. I'm going to wait to see some more information. Don't know a whole heck of a lot about it, but that top right there is also 10 bucks. So VTGN barcoding right now in the afternoon. But again, some pretty violent moves. I would say if you break 9 today, you may want to go long on that, but not a huge short float. It's just they did have that successful trial. I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm not invested in it and I don't know a whole heck of a lot about the drug or the study that they've done there. So VTGN, thanks for bringing it up. It's a 10% runner today. And if you have it, I wouldn't wait for 58 or 60 bucks, but there was some news today. I think it was something about one of the principals bought some more shares, but that's a story that I thought I saw. Maybe not the case, but anyways, 11%, not bad on earnings.
That's a pretty good move. I mean, 11% is nothing to sniff at. We've seen a lot of stocks move more than that. Some squeeze plays have done it, but there's nothing wrong with taking like a 10% move. That's always good in any market. I don't care what you say. Bit of a range-bound trade now forming in NVIDIA. It wants to go, it's trying to go green. Obviously, the market's rolling over. That would be here at 42.5, but 424.5. Right down into 423.5, just scalped it. I have my bids underneath that 22. We'll hopefully be able to take that. I want to cycle back over to what is now catching another bid. If Wework takes out the high again, if it gets above 32, this really squeezes. Like that gets really hairy if it makes another run at the high. It's got a much wider range after the last level. 25 to 32 is a big, big move. You're talking about 7 cents from 25 to 32. That's a very significant, over 25% move. So if it holds that range and breaks out the top of it, another 25% move up is not unreasonable, and that would take it to 40 cents. So I am not reloading this if it gets to the high. I'm getting out if it gets to 31, and it is looking like it's relatively strong in here. Roblox, I don't know if it was a right call. I think the market does not want to completely roll over. And like this should go at least to VWAP. Whoops, that's New York. There you go. This should get to VWAP. Every single time it looks like it's going to go. It kind of does like a hammer candle down. If you look at the NASDAQ, like we'll get up, and it looks like we're going to roll over. I'm like, yeah, we're going right back to the lows like we've been doing all day long, and then it just slows down into a little bit of a grind. So it feels right, the short, but the one stock I feel like is the good long, I keep getting out of it, and I'm looking for places to get back into something. If this market does bounce from here and go higher, Roblox is the right one. I just don't like buying it away from 30 as much as we'd have to at this particular point. I see the position board is now gone. Well, next fill it'll come back.
Just before VTGN, it was VistaGen. I guess they're reporting tonight, so maybe it wasn't yesterday. But it's VistaGen Therapeutics, 10% shareholder, Commodore Capital. That's what it was.
Commodore.
What's up, Commodore? This is not a great story for them right now, but they purchased 775,000 shares at an average price of $23.15. So it's $8 now. So 10% shareholder there. VistaGen shareholder Commodore Capital bought nearly 800,000 shares at an average price of $23.14 in a Form 4 filing. I mean, it's right here on the screen, so you can see I'm not making this stuff up, and nor would I. But there it is right there. If you can go to the screen. Yeah, there it is. Thank you so much. There it is. Just letting you guys know. Thought I saw that. It looks like that was yesterday filed that. So VistaGen Therapeutics, that was the story that I was referring to. And apparently earnings, I guess, later on tonight. And I will try to confirm that as well. But let's go over to the desk with Brennan and Frank.
Hey, yeah, we are back again. Frank Kaberna with us, Director of Strategy over at IG in Chicago, to give us a wrap-up of what happened this morning, obviously the most important thing, and then we'll touch on what is going to come tomorrow morning as well, because, hey, we're not done yet with this data so far this week. So break it down here for us, Frank. I mean, it was higher, but still not as bad, or as what a lot of people were expecting, but still higher than what we had last time. So what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, it's a classic higher and lower number here today. And the market's been digesting it really interestingly here throughout the day. Let's get into the number itself and the knee-jerk reaction right off the bat, though, because the headline inflation up 0.2%, maybe freaking some people out. The first uptick since actually June of last year that we've seen in inflation, including food and energy here. But this wasn't the real headline number in terms of what the Fed is looking at. It's valuable. It's worth looking at. And maybe the market is digesting this throughout the day, the fact that we were up from 3% to 3.2%. All of that being said, it was expected at 3.3%, so not as high as the expectation, although it was higher than the previous print. And yeah, like I say, the first reversal from what's been inflation lower every single month since June of last year, for the last year there. But the real number here was the core inflation, and that was 0.1 percentage point lower than expected, headed in the right direction here. Is that core inflation off from 4.8% to 4.7%? And the market really liked seeing that, Brendan. The stock market was up off of this number. Interest rate markets were down as inflation headed in the right direction. But, you know, if this is the pace that we are coming off of inflation at, looking for that 2% target, we're going to need many, many more months to get down to that 2%. You can see, you know, where we've spent a lot of historical time around 2%. That's where the Fed likes inflation at. And if we're going to lose just 0.1 percentage point every single month here, Brendan, then we're going to be above 2% in theory for years here. And I think that this is what Powell has been speaking to, the fact that, you know, you guys trading the market are pricing interest rate cuts in 2024 here. And I don't think he sees it that way. And I think that that's the late reaction we're getting out of the market. Also have some Fed people speaking as you and I speak right now, that's bringing rates actually back higher on the day and giving stocks some downside. So you saw the knee-jerk reaction, stocks higher, rates lower, better than expected inflation number. But even though it was better than expected, I think it's setting in that if it's not better than expected by 0.3 of a percentage point or 0.5 percentage point, this could be a long haul to Powell's continued point for the last couple of meetings.
Yeah, and it seems that more and more people seem to be adopting that same kind of narrative now. As you were saying, if this is the pace that we're going to be pulling back as far as core is concerned, it's obviously going to take quite some time. That being said, there was a little bit of confusion almost initially as far as the overall reaction in the market is concerned. And then if you look at the Fed funds tool going out all the way to the end of the year, there's still a little bit of a chance, but that actually pulled back a little bit as far as maybe a second quarter point hike to come before we get to December.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing the yield curve normalize off of some of this. And you and I have talked about, the yield curve inversion. Why are we inverted? Because short-term rates spiked higher than long-term rates. How do we get uninverted? Well, either short-term rates come down or long-term rates come up to meet them. We're seeing that second version of that, of short-term rates kind of staying pat. You can see here the projection for the next meeting. They're pricing out a rate hike, but they're not necessarily pricing in rate cuts. They are pricing in higher interest rates in the 5-year, in the 10-year, in the 30-year range. That's helping to normalize that curve a little bit. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see, because you and I have been talking about this for months now. The projections for 2023 is maybe another rate hike on the table. The projections for 2024 are between 3 and 4 rate cuts. We could see that curve essentially flatten out or normalize, like I'm speaking to, where we don't get any more hikes this year, and we also don't get cuts next year. It'll be really interesting to see. That's what we're definitely getting priced in now in the afternoon. This morning, it was all rates lower, and not only no hikes for the rest of the year, but maybe some cuts next year, continuing to move around. And that's what you're seeing the stock market move with as well. The stock market likes the idea of no hikes this year, Brendan, and rate cuts next year. And so if it's no hikes this year, that's good in the short term for the stock market. But seeing some of that bearish activity from a macro standpoint come from that normalizing of the yield curve, the fact that interest rates might not get cut next year if, like we keep talking about, the core inflation down from 4.8 to 4.7, that's great. But if we don't see some traction to the tune of, 4.8 down to the low 4s, down below 4, then this curve here that you have in front of you, the projections for next year are going to continue to get higher and higher towards that 5% that we're currently at. But a lot of indecision around the future of interest rates, although it's starting to look clearer and clearer that we aren't probably going to get a rate hike this year. The odds have gone from 30% down to around 15 or 20%. And now, like we just showed, under 10% chance that we get a rate hike in September.
It's, and I just want to reiterate on that chart that we were just looking at, the column to the far right over here, that's where we're at right now. So the bulk of what we're talking about for next year is significantly lower than that. However, I always want to caution people on the sense that, yes, they're cuts, but that restrictiveness is still the key, and the space between what inflation is at and where the Fed funds rate is at is the part that they're going to keep a very close eye on. That being said, going forward, we heard a lot of commentary after this number came out this morning. Going forward, as you mentioned, no hike, at the September meeting, and I think that just that talk alone tended to help the market today as well to the upside.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the idea of less hikes than were projected, even if it was only, a 20-30% chance of a rate hike in September, Brendan, that being talked down to below than 10%, overall good thing for the stock market here in the short term. But as we're seeing later on in the day here, as that, 1 year out, 5 years out, 10 years out, as those interest rates climb, and that curve that you see, the projections for the end of next year, if they start to focus up near 5%, that's what we're seeing the bearishness in the stock market emerge a little bit here is, maybe not the rate hike in 2023, but maybe not those rate cuts. It's so interesting to watch the futures markets and the spot markets as well. They're also synergetic, Brendan. They price each of these things in, and it's no coincidence that we've seen the recent resurgence of NASDAQ to year-to-date highs, up so big on the year. That coincided with pricing in those rate cuts down from 5%, where we're at, like you highlighted, to 4%, potentially even 3%, some of those odds laying in there. Now, if those odds creep up to 5%, where we are, if that goes from essentially a 0% chance that we're at where we're at now, the end of next year, if that goes to 30% chance, 40% chance, 50% chance, that'll likely coincide with NASDAQ moving lower and some of those stocks moving lower, all these things moving in tandem. And yeah, definitely seeing the nice big rally in the stock market off of the number, interest rates moving lower off of that number. And now as the 10-year rate is resurging here late in the day, coinciding with some stock downside. It stinks that we aren't seeing, big misses of expectation to, like I say, like 3, 4, 5 tenths of a percentage point with these inflation numbers, that we have to keep kind of kicking it down the line in terms of, are we getting close to 2% or are we resurging back close to 6%? But another one of those numbers that kind of punts it to the FOMC and future data points that'll be coming out.
Yeah, I just double checked. September 13th, first off, we get the next CPI print, which will be the August print, and then the 19th and the 20th, I believe. So the 20th would be the next Fed meeting of September. It's interesting to see as well. We didn't touch on it a little bit anyways. I mean, worth mentioning, the dollar almost back to positive on the day after that initial big flush to the downside as well.
For sure. Some crazy Forex movement. Absolutely. Euro only one holding on to gains. And now the yen back to decade lows against the euro. We can talk more on that next week with a lighter data week. But like I say, seeing this resurgence late in the day of the 5-10-year duration interest rate here in the U.S., bolstering the U.S. dollar back to the upside. I mean, U.S. dollar was down more than 50 pips against euro, pound, everything this morning. Now it's up against the pound. It's up significantly against the yen, and euro's losing that steam as well. All of that also coinciding with some of the stock downside on the potential for higher rates for longer. So yeah, not so interesting of a number for us this morning, Brendan, but I think the fear of this inflation not reversing course and getting higher, but sticking around is really setting in on every major asset class.
Yeah, the wait and see game going to continue for the time being anyways. Again, September 13th, guys, the next CPI reading could be the next goalpost that we look towards for this inflation train as it continues to roll along. Frank Kaberna, Director of Strategy over at IG in Chicago. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, Brennan.
As always, the Director of Swag and Dropping Science that's the new title for Frank. As everyone always loves it, Bears versus Bulls saying thank you. What I love about it is like the compliments that that Frank gets every single time. It's the running joke. He's so humble. Is like, don't say my title. No, we can. You deserve all the praise you get there. While that was going on, it's sometimes when Frank comes on, the market has a tendency to go up, which is a good thing. Everyone wants the market to go up. But Exactly. I wish I'd remembered that. I stopped out of NVIDIA as that was happening. The short was looking like it was going to be good. I'll show you the NASDAQ here. There it is, breaking that channel to the upside. So I get my stop out at 425. Not that this cares about what the market is doing, but somebody decided Wework's not getting through 30 cents. I don't know who that is, but whoever, I'm not reloading this position. I said it in the chat. It just felt really, really strong going into here. I feel like if it breaks, this is going to go parabolic again. So no reload for me, although it would have been a really good reload shorting this again at 30. Maybe it comes back into 26. Darn it. Maybe I should have done it, but I'm staying away from it, so no Wework. I'm holding on to a piece, and I'll get back on the bid here at 26, but that was probably a great reload. There was a refresher at 30 even. It just felt to me that that was going to blow through that level with no problems. I did get into a long in Rivian. Shout out to those in the chat that were talking about Rivian strong, Rivian strong. Consolidating at VWAP. Yeah, gets to VWAP. Consolidates over at 22. Now you're seeing it press up a little bit. If the market goes, continues to go higher, this feels like it can be a decent one. Wish we'd sniffed something else out to the long side because it is getting a little bit bullish. We're up 0.5%. It's not exactly running away from these levels, but it was enough to get some of these shorts out. Now stuck with just the penny stocks short and nothing big cap.
All right, it is great to have Frank Kaberna on, of course. And we just reloaded a little bit here on Apple. So we just got, it's nothing that great, man. We got a 60 fill or 61 fill. Let's see if we can get something down into the 40s here for a little bit lower. We do have AMD. I'm just going to start to piece these out a little bit. It's not exactly acting the way we thought it would, but I mean, I have bids sort of littered everywhere here to see if we can get some out and just really start to capture some profit on some of these plays. We do have a reposition of it. We've been getting out. Okay, let's go AMD. Holy shoot, man, this is a nice move. Okay, hold on a second here. AMD's making, it's Apple that made the move down. That's what just gave us the fill.
Awesome.
All right, good little reload there. Oh, we are.
I'm reloaded.
All right, new position alert, which we hit the first time is Starbucks. Starbucks. Okay, come to the party. Right now, nice little downside move here for Starbucks. Let's see if we can't get something out with this move back in. So we have a few shares here. We'll see if we can get it. There we go. 73's out. 72's out, actually, and 73's. So a couple outs right there. We're just trying to scalp this back to the downside. It doesn't have a huge range, but if we do get back into the 40s and 50s, we'll take that one. Starbucks right now, 10 cents in the money. Hopefully it can get a little more than that. As here we go. Okay, that was a good reload. Now let's go. Come on, give us those 24s. Yeah, nice move there. Okay, yeah. You know what, man? All right, new plan of action. Frank comes on. We let the market go up. We short it when he's on. And then when he gets off, we do this. And then it's a nice little money move right there. So we'll slap our faces around a little bit because now we know the path to success. And the path to success is just be yourself and follow, the rules that you've set out for yourself. Follow what you're following as far as technical analysis or whatever traders you're following. Make sure you do the work yourself. And let's go Starbucks. Oh, we have just made a shoot ton of money back right now on this move down. So I'm going to try to cover a little bit here because the P&L is going ham right now. There it is. Yes, sir. Good one right now. Let's go. Let's give some props up to anybody that's short with me. Starbucks, nice move to the downside here. We're going to start to cover a little bit more. We're already out of 1/3. I was just expecting to take very, very small on this, so that's what we're doing right now. We haven't looked at Starbucks in a minute. It's up 2.3%, so if it does break lower, then good. But right now, there's the fall down. So we got to take advantage, man. It's just going back to the 50 period. We did average into a lot of these trades, and they all made sense to me. So it made sense at the beginning, made dollars late, and that's what we're trying to do here again. So nice moves there. Good takes on Roblox as well. I mean, that just came up, broke through view up. We got a 50 out. Stink face on that one. Right now, hopefully the market will just continue to fall down because it's AMD to the rescue here. Thank you, Beat Fanatic. Thank you, Larry Wanta. Everything like that, man. It's just been a really, really great day here to trade again with a lot of movement, man. No matter what the market does, if you sit there, you take the trades that you talk about, and you just hope that they work out. And today, hope is not even a thing because they are working out. Let's see if Tesla can get breaking back down below here. We almost got short again, man. I'm waiting for 246.50. 246.80 is where my trade is because that is the VWAP trade just a little north of 247. So the only thing that we're not short right now, a significant amount, is Tesla because we've sort of already got out.
So another bounce off VWAP and 22 for Rivian here, but I want to get to, I got to address this on yellow. The pattern is not 230, people. I know it's starting to go. 330 is when it's randomly been buying every single day. So you got to wait for it. Obviously, that was a disaster if you held on to it, but it would have worked because it halted up yesterday at 330. I'll have a look-see at that time, but I'm just going to have a look. If it breaks a channel, it's probably worth a quick little shot in and out, but that's 25 minutes away on Yell. If we get back in to that recent local high on Rivian until it bits underneath 22, I think it can be a nice bounce long into 22 quarter, then into 22.50. But that little pullback in the market seemed to manage to hold VWAP here on Rivian. So if it's going to be relatively strong, I'm going to like it. I just saw in the chat someone saying, look at Super Micro Computer. So usually this is, in a weak market, this should be like just dying because it's like the AI flummox trade, pulling back with NVIDIA the last couple of days, underneath the 50 on the daily, just flushing. I'm surprised to see this at the high of the day for this stock when the market's making lower highs. And if you look at this 280 level, I mean, if the market rolls over, usually this falls lockstep. If tech is down, if tech is going down, if the AI type names are going to the downside, those growth names, this is falling even faster than that. So to see it at the high of the day is a bit surprising. If it does any kind of false break of the high of the day, this could be like a huge short opportunity if it decides to follow into the market here on SMCI. That super microcomputer, it has been outside of AMD or of NVIDIA. I'm pretty sure this is the biggest runner on the ChatGPT craze since that all started. There's NVIDIA and then there's these guys. And if you look at what happened in the pullback the last couple of days, like it has been, I want to say it fell back further than NVIDIA, so I'm surprised to see it at the high of the day. I'd be looking short on this off that 280 level. Just one more press. It's at 77.5, but if it presses to 280, this should be, the risk to reward really favors the short here on Super Micro.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Unless
okay.
there's a news I don't know about.
Well, they had earnings, that's all. That was yesterday, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
They were bad. So, yeah,
really bad.
They really bad. Yeah, they hit it down, and of course they were up. SMCI is up dramatically more than NVIDIA over the last year and a half or something like that. So for those of you that think like NVIDIA's up,
yeah,
SMCI, of course,
ridiculous.
up more than them. So yeah, good play there for anybody that had that one. All right. Thank you, Renata. Very kind words in the chat as well. What else you guys want to look at here? We'll try to find a new name for you. Anybody there? We could talk a little bit about Wework here. I know I haven't been trading it, but 30 cents there. Nice top of 32. I would not short this name. I mean, at some of these levels, fine up here, but it's just, what I've been looking at when you're getting these kind of runners that are like this is like you wait for sort of some kind of a barcoding area, and then it kind of did that there at 26. So maybe it dipped down in. You're not that far away now from 26. I mean, now you're even closer. You know, that's going to be the level right there that I think if it breaks it, then that's maybe when you can go short. But I would look to see if there's maybe some support down there at 26. And then you want to look to see where has there been a lot of volume, not at the open, but, you know, in the middle of the day. And that was kind of when we broke that 26 level right into here. So maybe there's something coming through. It's a nice move up. Of course, there's high volume there when you touch the top. Now it's come back in. Watch out for that 26 to possibly hold there. And again, you know, if you like it, take it.
That's where I'm bidding.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. So if you like it, that's a pretty good level right there on Wework. All right. Other than that, man, not much. Just sitting here waiting to see if anything can hit. Waiting for AMD to hit lower as well. I'm done taking all this stuff out. I know it looks ridiculous, all these outs that I have, but trust me, there is a method to the madness here. Let's just wait to see if it does continue to fall down. I'm taking more. So again, this is why DWAC is moving. Okay, so this is why everybody has to trade their own style, right? It's like you can take, and to each their own, you can take as many shares as you want, try to catch something for a longer period, have tighter stops on lots of shares, hold, get rinsed if you're wrong, take huge wins if you're right. Like there's a lot of different ways to skin this cat in this market. And I just think that that's where you got to say, what's your platform like? What's your fees like? What are your fees like when you're trading? Can you afford to do some of the things that I'm doing or not? Do you like the style of trade? If you're not comfortable scalping, then this is not going to be for you. I mean, it's just, that's the style. I am trying to my best to hold on to as many trades as I possibly can, you know, like including this Roblox one. Like there it is. We scalp out a little bit, and then I told you we're holding more for VWAP. There it goes, right to VWAP, get out. pretty simple trading if you're following. So that's just a little bit of talk about what I'm trying to do here. And I think I know it's been working out. It's just a matter of stay comfortable with your style and hopefully you'll be able to, it's just like that Apple, right? Like it dips all the way down. And when it comes to the 200 period, I take some profit there. Am I holding for more? Yes. But that way, the fact that I take out a little bit, when it comes back up, it gives me two opportunities. One to reload, and the second one to be wrong and at least capture some profits when you're right. So I don't hold for those huge moves. And as I say that, of course, we have Tesla $2 in the money and Google $2 in the money, but they're on sub shares. They're not on full default. So watch your trades. We're here. Ask questions in the chat. Tweet at me. 4 o'clock show is going to be live today. We have a good, live every day, but it's going to be a great one with Danielle Shea. We'll talk a little bit about options as well and get a chance to ask some questions there. So, yeah, that's what it is, man. We're here at Day Trade the World. Start your day trading journey today with Day Trade the World.
As always. And 27 just caught a bit of a bid when Wework, so I'm getting more out. If it holds VWAP, it's just probably still trading to the upside. You got to wait for key levels to get into this thing. And now it's starting to hold a key level, which was that 25 on the north side of it. So when that happens, you ring the register, be happy that you're able to get a top, and then take your profit and run. DWAC has news today. They got these, I don't know how many times this has happened, but they got another extension for closing the SPAC deal. So I don't know if this is 3, 4, or like 1,000 times, but this deal still hasn't gone through. That's why it's up 13%. This is a pretty decent level. It's 17, 20-ish. If it gets through there, I mean, really, every single dollar is a significant level, but the real big one would be like 25. Like on the off chance this goes squeezing, it needs like 20 or 25 would be the levels. It's not even done 1 million shares yet, but were it to do something along those lines, it would pique my interest. But if you're wondering why it's high today and why it's running, it's because they got an extension. I'm pretty sure the last time they got an extension on this deal, it made a similar move and then fell back in because that's what it tends to do. NKTR, Nectar Therapeutics. I actually know the name of this company because we were trading it the other day. Back through $1. I remember this one when last time it got here. This chart doesn't want to load now. My daily's okay. Last time it got here and broke $1, it did reject both 110 and 120. So this looks pretty juicy. If the volume can hold up here, it's not really holding up, but if the volume can pick up, it gets through 10, gets through 20, that looks pretty good. Outside of Wework, if you're seeing these other ones, I'm going to likely be an AMRS. I know it's, like I'm in 11, it's in at 9. I'm probably still holding it to the close regardless and putting a bunch of it into the closing auction just to get that out of the way. I'm probably not going to cover that too much. I'll show you the chart every now and then, but they are working. Nectar 110 I think can be a decent breakout, but I want to see volume pick up. Then it gets a little bit more spicy. Rivian's trying to hold on to VWAP here. It just double tapped VWAP and double tapped 2215, so it's given that back and forth. I'll jump back on the bid, see if I can buy the dip, and then the pattern can repeat itself. Ideally, you want this pattern to resolve with a breakout if you're long. If you're short, you want it to break to the downside. In this case, I want Rivian breaking higher off of VWAP here. Let's see what happens. Do I like Disney as a possible swing trade? Public cringe, the setup is perfect for a swing trade. I mean, as a matter of fact, the more I think about this, like I'm making this point yesterday. I don't know why I flipped short on the stock. Whatever. I'll look at that and like, why would I flip short when it's above 90 on that breakout on the daily? But the talk was I was looking at a weekly chart, but I'll leave the daily chart up here just to point it out. Like when it broke out that 90 level, you have 85 down here, but if you pull up the weekly chart and go back to the pandemic bottom, that's like $78. That's a really good like kind of setup for a breakout. And if it never breaks the pandemic low, the next significant level, once it breaks 100, is up here at like 120, 125. That'd be a good profit center, and then see where it can go from there. I really do like it. I might buy some tomorrow morning. Now, the more that I look at it, the more that I think about it, it's like, yeah, it's one thing to say it. I haven't really done anything with the stock. I owned Disney from a long time ago, and it is what it is. And I probably like this. I might buy some before the open, or if I can at the close here on Disney. We got the fish to fry here. Let's talk about these trades. Roblox, I'm still holding it with you. I've paid for locates on DWAC in case something crazy happens. And would I buy Palantir now? I haven't looked at that one. Have you traded Palantir since this morning? I don't know if you.
No, I haven't traded at all.
So I had the breakout on Palantir this morning, And then when it came back to break even, I just got out. It was a good break. Now it's underneath that 1550 level, kind of barcoding back and forth. I don't really see a trade on this. It's still in this stair step to the downside, and 15 has been like, that's the buy zone for it as a day trade. If you get that again, that's pretty solid. Underneath the 50 period, trending back in. It hasn't really stabilized anywhere just yet. 14 is probably a bigger level on the 50, on the daily chart here. If it gets there tomorrow, 14 looks like a pretty interesting place to stick a bit in there. But I tried my hand on the breakout today, and it was a good breakout. It just didn't really break that 16. 15.5, stalled at 1585, which is fine. Would just be a heck of a lot nicer if it had gone higher.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it should be pretty good coming through here. I just want to update another position here because AMD just went right back up. So this is what I'm talking about scalping and making sure that you fit the right bill, right? And so there it is right now. We're going to wait for a little bit more. I just want to try this against 111. I mean, this is going to be my trade. I do want to acknowledge that VWAP's at 111.50. AMD has run me over, run you over, run everybody over, anybody that trades it. Once it gets going, it gets going. So I'm going to short more right now in the mid 80s here if it can come up. We just reshorted the same level there, small, because we know that we have this ready to go. If the market, again, like it's not doing anything right now, so let's let AMD run up. I'm feeling a little bit of ways now because even though we're flat on the trade, we're short at 65. I mean, we're flat on the trade. It's making that move up and giving me those feels that maybe this is not the right time here for AMD. And the fact that the market's not really running and this name is trying to run right now back to these levels, I don't know. It's not teeing up for me the way normally I like these names to line up.
And for what it's worth, NVIDIA is still creeping higher too. Like, yeah. I had the short, it stopped out, and all of a sudden that 425 resistance, 50. It just held that as support. So the next step would be at breaking VWAP. If this takes VWAP, it could drag some of the others with it. That SMCI, as the market's going upside, it might make a run at that 280. So what I'd be looking for is a false break of 280, kind of get above 280, wick that top, and then come back underneath. I got to show the weekly chart on. We didn't show the weekly chart on this. We alluded to how strong it's been, but I neglected to actually show you just what Super Micro has done. On the weekly, it's complete insanity. Let me zoom in so you can just see. Let's just try to look at since the beginning of 2022, like where things got absolutely out of hand and started breaking out in May. It was $120. It then tripled up, and look at the hammer that it's put in this last week. So this is, I mean, it could be epic to the downside. It doesn't mean a day trade today has to work. Obviously, I'm looking at a higher time frame chart, but there's going to be some opportunities for some pullbacks in names like this, and I just want to give some perspective on SMCI. Like the reason I think 5% up right now in today's market is very strong recovery for it after those earnings. It's because that stock has so much room to pull back, and the 280 level. If you're trading it yesterday, that was the opening range, like the first dip, the first couple of dips, it then resisted that 280 area pretty much the rest of the day. So that's a good level for a little bit of a double top here. Rivian, for a market that's just grinding higher, I'd like to be working better off VWAP, but beggars can't be choosers. If I get the reload second time off VWAP, we'll take it. If it breaks out 22.20, I'll probably just hold on, see if I can't get some 30s, maybe even the 40s up there.
Yeah, I know. Beat Fanatic in the chat there. Shout out to my good friend there. Yeah, I know. I should be trusting my gut a little bit here, and it is telling me that we are going to possibly be in trouble here for these shorts as they start to ramp up again right now. I'm getting a little nervous about it. It's 315, 317, 318 right now. So there is some movement still to happen here today, but I mean, this has been good, and I haven't averaged in until right now, which has been fantastic. So it's been okay. I mean, that was an average in, but that was because we took this profit. Remember when it was down here and I was like, you guys, I'm taking profit. This is my kind of trade. You guys figure it out. Well, this is why, because right now it's all the way back up to the upside. And again, we have a full position now on AMD. And if it takes 111, it's going to suck, but I'm thinking a little bit of a downside push. If we can get something out sort of for flat now, just because I'm not really loving this trade, that would be good. Looking for Apple to get going as well up to 179. I'd like that short a little bit better because that's where VWAP is. So we'll wait for like a 179 exactly. But there, see, like there goes, like just as I was trying to get a little bit out, there goes AMD again, upside right here. So let's be careful with this. It looks like it wants to break. That seems to be pretty obvious right now. So again, any kind of a pullback, watch out. AMD breaks 111. We're gone. It's going to suck. It's going to be a red mark, and it's going to put us red on AMD today. But got to try to support this level right now, and it's just not really happening. It has floated up here. I have a decent price, 75, so 25 cents worth of a hit I think is reasonable. Just got to fall back to the 50 period. But yeah, it's really strong right now. AMD still taking names and going to the upside, and there's not even any size here. So a little bit of a movement here, and it might be DOA for me here on AMD. So just a little bit of an update as we look to see what's happening now. Pull back, man. Just give me some outs. Like if I can get something out there, I think I'd like to take that. You know, in the low mid-70s, kind of like where we're flat right now. That would be a nice little relief for me if that were to happen. This is not a day breaker or anything like that, but yeah, we are stuck on this one. Roblox, shout out to Peter. We are seeking revenge on this name from yesterday. We lost more yesterday than we're making today, but we made a good trade yesterday afternoon off that 30 break for Roblox right here. And that was a great not revenge, but that was good to have that. Here we go, let's zoom in a little bit. There it was right there. We had this 30 breakdown. We had that breakdown as well. So far so good on the breakdowns yesterday, made some money back. And then today we're trying to support that little area of 30 bucks again, and we've taken it out, take it out there, take it out again. Roblox seems to be a little bit sleepy here into the close, so we'll wait to see on that one. Tesla's still dollar in the money. Oh, updated position alert here for Google. Again, we're short at 132. That's a sticky note nation trade. Good trade there. If we take out 50, we're gone. It just bounced off 43, so a little bit higher than this. We're going to get out of Google. Again, man, we're sort of okay. We're sort of resting now. There goes AMD right back to flat again. So, wow. Talk about counting your chickens before they hatch. Let's bring this ish to the downside right now and start to capture some profits here on AMD.
It's unbelievable. You're 100% right, crypto blogger. Lyft is unreal how strong it is. But I'm going to acknowledge something here in Wework. I just got a print at 25, and immediately, the second it got down to 25 cents, it just jumped right back up to 27. So the buying in this, and that's why you trade around the key price levels, this is the previous high. So when you think about this trade technically, like it gets right to 25, if it cannot bounce through, I'm going to trail this out. No need letting it get back up to 30, 31. I'm getting out if it gets above 27 again. And just taking the fact that we're able to get a good level short and it cannot continue down, we'll take the money and run. But shout out again to Nita Stong, 10 gifted memberships. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. I'm pretty sure, like all you got to do is, like when you first log into the chat, I'm pretty sure you can just enable accepting the gifts.
Yeah, there's something.
And then you're eligible to it. Bears versus Bulls all over it. So thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. All we ever ask you to do around here is...
Hola. Like and subscribe today.
And share.
And share. And speaking of sharing, you know, if you happen to be we had some fantastic viewers this morning. You know, we got the box is still there. We got some Timbits. We got 2 boxes of donuts, an apple fritter for myself. I'm still, you know, sort of feeling it. I'll do a nice good workout, and we thank you guys so much for having such a great community and all that you do. For no, Fabian, I'm not eating a third donut, but thank you very much for offering it. I have some discipline. It's not like I did think about it for like a couple seconds there, but yeah, I am now you're really making me think about it because I love pastries. Everybody knows here that I love pastries. Roblox, as the market's ticking back down,
you are human.
To give horse in the mouth.
You are human.
I am human.
People love pastries.
And the reason I say it, I'm actually very disciplined when it comes to my eating in a general sense. But I say it over and over again that I love pastries, and if you put it in front of me, that's just so that I can sort of keep myself in check. And that's why we don't keep too many around the house, because, you know, it would be a problem. Now, so Roblox above VWAP here. If it cannot hold on to the 35, I'll trail it out. This should be breaking out. I don't understand. Like, it should be going. The market is stair-stepping higher. It's up 3%. It's a monster relief rally for this thing. I don't know why this is not really loading up, but you can see here It's a monster relief rally potential. If this breaks back out, we should be at 31. I don't see a reason why we're not getting there. So let's see what happens. I do think this should be an even better long. I think this could be a candidate for a 350 regression style trade. Oftentimes you can see like at 350 when the bounces come out, you can get like a pullback, or 355. That could be in the cards for it. Isildur, what is a gift horse? It's an old saying. So back in the day, like if somebody gifted you a horse, you check to see if a horse was healthy by looking at its teeth and its gums. But if you're getting it for free, why are you questioning its health? It's like, say, basically questioning a gift you got for free. So look a gift horse in the mouth means that you're questioning the gift that you got for free. In a trading sense, if you get a pop on a stock and it goes in the money for you, take some profit. That's when I say I'm taking a don't look a gift horse in the mouth. It's giving you profit, you take it. In Wework, looking a gift horse in the mouth would be not getting out when it gets down to 25, 26. It's an upward trending stock. The last channel, I shorted 24.5 into 25. Well, if 25 is going to be support, then I'm going to get some out in front of it. Pay yourself out, and no one ever went broke taking profit. It's 325, so I'm going to give it a chance. It's happened a few times here today in the last few days that right around this time it happens to pop. So if it breaks at 210 in the next 5 minutes, you'll probably see me pop into a long, do a quick little tight stop at break even, and see if it does it for like the 5th day out of 6. It's just a weird pattern that happens. But if I get into yellow on any long position, I'm instantly putting in a tight stop, because this will quadrunk on you and it doesn't care. It halted up yesterday. If you didn't take profit, what happened after the fact? It opened and proceeded to drop $1. So yes, you would have made 10% if you took that breakout long at 330, but if you held on to it getting greedy, you would have had a 10% win turn into a loss of like 40%. So take profit when you can.
We just made back like more money than we can talk about on the show. Like this AMD trade, I told you we had a full position, and I don't have a damn problem telling you guys any of that kind of stuff. When there's a trade that I like, I'm gonna tell you that I'm invested into it, right? And so shout out to everybody in the chat, man, because this is, obviously I get emotional when I have some trades on board, and that was a good one for me. So there it is, a nice pullback down. We just made 50 cents back in on AMD. So that was like, literally, I told you it was going to be a day saver. If it wasn't going to break my day, but it was going to save it there. So that was a good trade there, coming back in on AMD. I mean, we came real damn close, man. And all I'm learning, I'm learning something every single day, and I think that's the important thing here, but is that stop layering into your trades, man. And if I miss trade, because I don't really get FOMO, and this is what I mean about, like, I have to figure out what the heck I'm doing, because, like, when these trades happen, they're there, and if I miss them, fine. But I was feeling like, like when AMD's coming back up here, I know I like the 111 area, but I'm not sure about it, so I start to layer in like 60s, and then finally we put on a big boy position up here at 87, or what am I short right now, 85, and that's the one that's paying me out. After all of this, it's like take L's on the way back in, but it's because I put on more shares up here, so it gives me that much better average price. Remember, my average price was 77 after all said and done, but my average price should be 86. And when you're playing with shares, it's like that stuff actually matters. So it's like, should have been a little bit better, a little more aggressive maybe with my in, and less sort of passive on the way up. Just wait for it to come in. What I mean by aggressive is like the share sizes. Get aggressive when it's at a nice level, and don't worry about legging it in like that, because you're not going to miss the trade, man. If it doesn't come through, it doesn't come through. But right now, that's what we're talking about. We're on the bearish side of things here again, and we've just made our whole day back right there by simply holding on to that and trusting our gut. I want to give a big shout out to you, Beat Fanatic, because you told me, man, stay with what you're doing and trust what you're doing, and then don't keep second guessing. So that's exactly what we did right there, and I want to thank everybody. And that's what, real sees real, and I know you guys can see that. So hopefully we'll be able to hold on to this, man, as we watch out for this stock possibly going to one way here. The other thing too is I'll take the L on this.
Oh my God.
And that's about being real with you guys and everybody else that's out there. Look at Starbucks. I mean, it went up 10 cents against me. The most we could have got was 10 cents there. So I stopped out. I stopped out basically at the high there before this dropped down and gave everybody a 30-cent winner. So I don't have that trade on, but I'm glad at least we talked about it. That's Starbucks. Here goes the move down. It's going to be a pain in my butt. But honestly, AMD is really, boom, we'll take a 42 there. Just got hit back in. Let's see if this collapses into the end of the day. We talked about what we're looking at right now. Good moves right here. 50 cents in the money for Apple. 50 cents in the money for AMD. $2 right now in the money. You know you got to do it. For Google, this is the same trade, so it's not like it's a new member. Just hanging out right now. $2 in the money for Google. $2 in the money for Tesla as well. Thank you for enjoying the show.
Yes, sir. And I just got out of my last short in I'll take it. It got down to 24 cents, so it did eventually break 25. It's 31 to 27, so you get your 25% move. Walk away from it. That's not what I hit.
Nope. There you go.
No. I don't know which button I hit. I don't even have that on that board. That's interesting. But whatever. I actually like some of the new ones, and I'll put them on the other page. For the record, like I said, I am in that AMRS, and I'll show it to you. I'm short at 11. It's down at 8. I'm probably going to add at some point to this. This is getting deleted from the market. So I understand it is deep in the money. It is, I'm missing a ton of data. What's going on with my chart? I'm missing the entire yesterday. Okay, whatever. This was like 50 cents. I'm missing a full day for some reason, but it is absolutely flushing. I will take some profit in front of 7 and in front of the low of the day, but I'm also looking for an opportunity. If it comes out of sell and bounce, I will probably be into this one all the way till the close, but I'm out of this. I'm out of that Wework. Rivian, even with the market coming down, it's still going back and forth off VWAP here, so that's still working out. I don't see any reason to get out. If it breaks 22, fair enough, but until we get to 350, I want to give this a chance to show me some strength and break out the top. Roblox still chilling out in the money as well. And what else we got here? Oh my goodness. How is Lyft?
God.
This is ridiculous.
Look at AMD, yeah. What's going on with Lyft?
No, Lyft does not. The market pulls back and Lyft just chills out. This stock is on an absolute tear. Once it gets back above the 200 period moving average, this could be a potential squeeze play on Lyft. It's back above the 200. I want it taking out this local high yesterday. That looks really good and super strong, but it needs to get through 1150. You've seen what happened the last couple of days on Lyft, but acknowledge how strong that stock is. It's definitely on a tear. Oh, and cancel that Yell. It's 330 and it didn't move. I'm not taking it anymore. Like if it doesn't break by now, I don't want the breakout on Yell. That's a very gimmicky trade. It happened like 5 out of the last 6 days, but if it doesn't happen, you don't have to take it. So I just cancel my order. I guess the buyers aren't there today on Yellow.
All right, just a quarter left here on AMD as it keeps coming down to the downside. And IO beat Fnatic and everybody, a lot of credit there for the support. Thank you so much. It means a lot, man. It means a lot because, you know, that's part of trading and it's about the community and it's just about like, you know, just thanks for the kind words. And it's like, if I can't trust myself, you guys see me trading every day and you know how I trade and some of the moves that we're looking for. So I'm going to stop second guessing a lot of my plays. And right there, we're almost back to the day's high for myself right now. So can't complain about it. It's going to be a hell of a green day and with only a few minutes left. The funny thing is like, all I'm thinking about right now, too, is this after show. I got Danielle Shea coming on. I want to talk about a few cool things with her coming through. And meanwhile, we're still making all these trades for you live, real-time money, making trades, talking, educating, giving you all the good stuff here. So that's where, you know, I really do feel pretty blessed to be able to do this with everybody here over and over again. And just thank you so much for all the support. Holy crow. There goes AMD again. We just got a 25 fill on that as it's coming back down over and over and over again. So we're getting lighter on this trade. We now only have 20% left. So I think we can now just hold this into the close. It did exactly what we thought it would do. Not really. I mean, exactly what we thought it would do. I thought I was going to get stopped out, and we were pennies away from doing that up there at 111. So take it out. What I'm talking about is that these are the levels that, I mean, look, I'm layering with bids here, right? So these are the levels that I thought it could fall back into. When you're unsure, you scalp it. That's the next leg for me, is to figure out when I'm wrong, not when I'm wrong, sorry, when I'm right, how to layer them out better. So we're going to work on that. And if you remember what I said earlier on, and that was is that we make some good decisions early, but we make better decisions late. And here's just another example of exactly that here in the after show for you guys, because in the afternoon show, look at this Apple short. I gave that short. I mean, this is the thing. I'll talk about this on the show too. I talked about this short for Apple, right? So we put that on live. Then we put this one on live. Both of them are 50-cent winners plus. So right now we're sitting in 50 cents on these trades. So, that's what we're trying to do. Make a little bit of money, make a little bit of sense for everybody. And I hope that you're able to, follow some of these trades. We're not going to be red on too many names today, man. Siri, Mr. Portnoy, what's up? Siri is a red name for me today. As you can see, I meant to click on it. There it is right there. Look at this. This dropped down, so this is going to be a slightly red name. It did bounce, it's red. It did bounce up right there, and we were able to get some out. That was right when we went off air at about 11 o'clock. It went up to 510 again. So our average price, we had a 14, and then we had an 05. So that gave us around a 10. So that's getting some out, but then it dropped below and took out that level right there of 97. And then once that happened, we got out. So we are now out of the way of that one, but still not a great end of that trade there for Sirius Satellite Radio. So not a great end to that name, but we took the shot on that. And hey, as I said, man, that's kind of what trading's all about. Take your shots when you feel that shots are due.
Yeah, and then try to just, do your risk to reward analysis on it. Like I was in the same Siri trade, I think almost, it was close enough to the penny. I don't know if it was exactly the same cent, but I was in, I think, an average price of 07s, 6 halves, and then got out at 99. And sometimes, you guys saw like a few weeks ago when Siri had news, and it halted up twice, and it was a big time bang. It was like 10% twice to the upside that you could have had an even bigger move the second time through. So I think it was worth it. My chart's finally working on AMRS. I don't know what was going on. I was missing a lot of data. So I'm holding on to more than half of the position, and there's a reason. I know it seems like that's stupid or greedy, like you should. I just said don't look a gift horse in the mouth. We're short this at 14. I've been shorted at 11. I've had some at 12. It's now down at 8. This got cut in half this morning, and then I don't know if it gets cut in half again off this 11-12 area down into 6. I'll take some profit up, but I'm anticipating there could be a sell imbalance on it. So that's why I'm still holding on to this and still have half the position. It's the same thing with PTRA. Hopefully this chart is now working as well, but I've been in this one. And I had one stop out. I'm like, this is stupid. I mean to hold this into the close. I stopped out at 13 and jumped right back into the same position I had before, and I haven't taken a cent out. If it gets to 10 cents, I probably throw a bid out there. And again, I'm looking to hold this one into the close. It's a very specific style trade. Both those penny stocks are getting deleted from the index. I said this morning the plan of action with them was to be short every single pop and pretty much all day long. And you can kind of see what's happening to both of them. The last couple of days, I got to get out of this Rivian. Now we're starting to roll over. It hasn't broken, which is weird. It's just holding on to VWAP. It's not really moving. I'll just leave my stop in there. I mean, if it breaks 22, I'm getting out. I have a stop order. It's seeming like it wants to continue bouncing. Maybe I give it one more chance for a reload. I'll pop on the bid. It seems to want to hold 22 pretty nicely. Not nearly as strong as a lift, which would be fantastic if we were long lift, but I'm in Rivian. Let's see if it can get through that high of the day again. Now, just after I compliment lift on being strong, it pulls back. I was just saying how strong the stock was, and all of a sudden it is dipping down into the absolute bottom. The market is likely to go red if it goes another couple of points here, and you could see some acceleration to the downside. The early look on the imbalances was 295 million to sell. That's really not a heck of a lot.
No.
So I don't think that's going to move the needle in any direction. As I said, I'm going to be looking at these when they come out, and I'm hoping that usually it's a bunch of penny stocks that are up there. I'm hoping to see a couple of big sells. If that's the case, then that'll be good for me. If we see something on like the big caps, we'll let you guys know. Roblox, what's going on in Roblox? It's not filling the upside. It's not running any stops. It is just barcoding off of VWAP. So not a lot happening on Roblox. It's holding out in the money, but I'd like to see it break the channel up. I'm just going to move my stop. Why even have, there's no point having a 30 stop at this point. Way too late in the day. I'm going to tighten it up to 30-30, which I thought I had already done, but apparently I did not. So I'm going to go 30-30. Underneath that price, you get out. If it decides to break out to the upside, hold it to 30.75 and allow the market to kind of reward you. If it goes buy and balance, maybe we get a push to the upside and we can just take advantage of it. The next thing I do is very likely you're going to see me jam into one of those penny stocks for like double if I see a sell imbalance. And Rivian, if it breaks out, I think we can add to that long. But with the market coming in, I don't see a reasonable place to add to the upside. We'll bounce, see if we can do this little back and forth shimmy shake over VWAP, and if it takes out the high, then I think you can add to it. But you're running out of time before 350 to get too aggressive on trades. If you're tuning in for the first time, we're trading equities, we are on a prop floor, and we have to be flat at the end of the day. So every single one of these trades has to be covered by the end of the day. I can't sit here and say, well, Rivian's on a recovery, Roblox is on a recovery, let's hold it overnight. Well, Rivian's kind of weak, Roblox is on a recovery. You can't hold overnight here. We have to be out at the end of the day. That's why trailing stops, take your profit. That's what we're going to do here. And in 10 minutes, when we get the imbalances, we'll update them for you live, as we do every single day. Oh, we had DWAC.
338. Yeah, thank you again, Nita Stonk, for the super chats and for the gifts. I mean, gifts are better than super chats because we get to have people. It's only $5, but thank you so much for that again. 10 memberships to go with the 5 that you already given us. So thank you so much. Respect for that. Thank you, Nita Stonk, for everything that you've been doing again for the channel with those memberships. So thanks again. All right, just quickly here, just because of AMD is where it is right now. Good outs. I mean, we talked about only having 20% left. Then we got a fill down here at 35. So now we're really light. Then it breaks to 50. Now we're super light. And we could short this again if it comes up here. I think we'll do that near that 111. But as Neil mentioned, we do have those imbalances coming out. It's a small sell right now. So of 300 million, I'm going to put an order up near, again, probably 90s again, something like that, just to see. AMD is going to be fine today. It's just a matter of if we can get that fill up there. We said that we'd try to learn from our past mistakes and not average in until the cows come home. Just take the best prices. So even though there's only an hour, less than an hour left, only 20 minutes left, 10 minutes till imbalances, I feel like we're pretty comfortable right now with everything that we're holding. AMD, and look at Apple. I mean, oh man, we keep talking about wanting to short Apple. We did really well on Apple today because we were long, and then now we've just engaged in the short again. And if you guys are wanting some winning trades, steal a line from Neil. I'm your Huckleberry right there with this Apple today. Back-to-back jacks here. We shorted this. We shorted AMD into the close. We've been longing Roblox. We just got some more out on Roblox. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet there. We did give you also Starbucks, and I did talk about that. Not a great out, but look at Starbucks right now. If you still have that one, money. Congratulations, because that is a money trade there for Starbucks to the downside. We would have really topped our day off if we still had kept that. But again, there's the stop out. Remain disciplined, man. I mean, that's it. Here's the stop right here at 90. It breaks 90. We're short at 83.2. 7 cents worth of a hit. We took 10 or... we got out at 68, so we wanted taking 15 cents at the max, 8 cents as a loser. It's a small cup of coffee because we had more than half the shares left. So nice move back in. It's basically right where we thought it would go, Starbucks. But unfortunately, there's the stop out. That does happen. I could switch it up to getting out of 75% of the trade. That's what I've been trying to do a little bit better. So we may enact that one more time as a strategy as we go there. Google continues, man. Google right back down to the lows. And this is, again, another sticky note trade of 132. Right back in. Probably worth just capturing that profit right here before these imbalances do come out and maybe swing it the other way. But the NASDAQ is finally, whoops. The NASDAQ has finally made that move. I got to just open that chart up again one more time here. There. The NASDAQ finally made that move back down to the downside right now. But again, we're still at some key levels here of 15,180 where we bounced off earlier. So I'll hold it in case we do break it. Right now, 70 cents in the money Apple, 40 cents in the money AMD, 212 in the money for Google. And then unfortunately, Tesla is like not doing anything. Let's put a bid down here for Tesla. Let's just go to the bottom, man. Let's go to 240. Let's go to, what is that bottom, 244? Let's go to 244. All right, this moves down another $1. We'll take $3 on it, and we'll see if it can go. But that's going to be Tesla. Good idea here into 244 flat. We'll see if we can get that.
Yeah, so one more time, Rivian just bounced the same range. I'm just going to get out of it manually. Yeah, I'm gonna taking it out. There's no point. It's giving you that couple of times. I took it twice. It gave you 3 times up and down. I do have a plan of action for 350 that I don't want to get too distracted away from here. So Roblox is worth holding on to because it's kind of in the money. I have my trailing stop. But Rivian is trying to go. I think it's primed, but the market is not cooperating. So you might revisit that on more market strength tomorrow. As I said, my plan of action is to, in 7 minutes, I'm anticipating, even if there's a pop in this and I see a small buying balance, I'm probably going to short into it. I'll play that one by ear. Renata Ford wants to go to 12. Well, if it goes to 11, you might want to be on the bid. Ford, you know what? We didn't talk about Ford today. This is the Ford chart. Not the best chart in the world. Down 5% in a straight shot, almost 13 down into 12. But anybody that's been looking at this name knows what's up at $11. And what's up at $11 is the stock a few days after. Pretty much every single time. How far can I go back here? This is just a daily chart. I can probably pull the weekly chart up to show you guys, but it's bouncing off 11 and generally getting to 14, 15 every single time. Gets down there again, I think you just go for it every single time it wants to give it to you. So that could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be, who knows, it could be 2 weeks from now, but that is an absolute gold level. I wouldn't touch it in the $12 range. There's nothing significant about that price outside of the fact that it's a round number. Maybe it'll have an imbalance, we'll see. But at this point, this is an absolute falling knife. I'm just going to double check GM because if that's anywhere near load, PC load letter. Come on, chart. I love it when it just absolutely hates me. That's why I buy TradTV's chart. Yeah, GM is still a good 10% away from its bottom, which is almost the exact same chart. It's about 31 as well on this stock. So they're going to get there at the same time. And they've been kind of mirroring each other. The reason why I sold some GM to buy Ford, same setup, one of them is actually paying you a dividend while it does the same nonsense. And so I was like, well, if they're both just going to sit here in the bottom of the range and barcode, one of them is at least paying you a dividend while it's going nowhere. So it's a very scientific decision by myself to do that, and that's my shift. They're doing literally the same thing. Sets up for a breakout if it happens to go, but these have been kind of doggish. For the long term, I still think they can win, but everybody's losing money on the EVs, and they're losing a lot of money. The advantage they have is the legacy business, and the disadvantage to GM is they're not doing any hybrids, which are selling pretty well. I think that's one of the other reasons why I don't like them as much as I did before. Roblox, it's holding above VWAP. I'm going to tighten up my trail. The closer we get to 350, it's at 330. Now my trail is going to be at VWAP. So we'll make sure we lock in at least that 30.45. Want to give the advantage of the imbalances coming out. Potentially, if it swings from a sell to a buy, that could take this up. And as I say that, I'm going to throw myself an offer out here. If it gets to this range, it's a lower high double top. I'm going to get out there as well. Angry Bear, maybe we get hydrogen cars. I'm not an engineer. I'm going to say no. There's some very smart people who don't think that hydrogen is the way. I'm going to leave it at that. And most of them will tell you that it's not necessarily the best of the alternative technologies. So, and those are smarter people than I.
Yeah, it's always good to relate to smarter people than yourself because new ideas, they're all seen. I mean, Nikola tried to roll.
Elon's one of them too.
Yeah, of course he doesn't think that. All right, let's, I just want to say here, we do have the after show coming through right now. Thank you so much. Daniel Shea will be joining me tonight on After the Close. So check that out with us here tonight. The link is up on my Twitter, and it should also be up. We'll get rolled over, from the program over into that. So that's going to be pretty cool that YouTube does that. So just stay tuned for more action-packed fun after the market is closed.
Oh my God, Wework.
Right now, yeah, Rework is getting worked right here. So let's just look at AMD quickly, Apple. Apple is really, really trying, guys. It's trying right now. We're very, very close to giving you that other nether name here. We have 3 or 4 members today that are all part of this club, and it's been a good day for the club as the market continues to give us both ways, right? I mean, Alibaba, we made dollars here off the open. We haven't even traded that since. There it is right here on the 100 break up to 102. First member, Alibaba, really nice positive name for us. I don't think AMD will get there today. Apple's trying to get there as well. And then, of course, Tesla is currently there right now. We've already taken that membership, but that was all the way back at 1230. Like, you know, it's not really tanking too much more than what we've already seen right now for Tesla. So let's see where it goes. Still like the name there. Still hoping for a little bit more of a downside push. What else? Check back on, Starbucks is going to be bad. Check back on Siri, 485. Not much happening there. Is there anything you guys know? We are not in New York. What's up to Toddle and Win right now? We are in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, second most populated place for Italians outside of New York, outside of Italy. So right there.
I might have guessed that. I think.
Yeah, it would have been a good guess. Probably Chicago is up there as well. There's over 3 million people here in Toronto. I think it's the 6th largest city in North America. So that's where we are right now. Let's just continue with this. If you guys have any questions, yeah, go ahead.
Come here, because I know a lot of people were looking at I gave it up at VWAP. It just plunged another. I mean, like from 25 to 20, that's just another 20% that it just gave up. I'm a little disappointed because I gave it up at VWAP. It looked pretty strong off of that level. It is what it is. You got to have it out at some point. This is doing like 670 million shares on Wework today. I doubt it does it again tomorrow, but if it's on that path, then I think it needs to be traded. That is a huge reversal on We. I'd come in thinking it's probably going to be another opportunity to short it with that kind of a pullback. If it holds on to 25, I'd at least be thinking about the long tomorrow. But the fact that it got underneath that previous breakout price is not necessarily bullish on We. Like it held above. That's when I got away from my last short. Again, you always want to always have yourself an out. Short 16 into 15, get out. Short 17, get out. Short 19 half, get out at 20. Short 24 half, get out at 25. You've got to be willing to take the out. But I wish I had held on to that short. Obviously, I didn't. Above 25, I think it's a little more bullish than it is. Right now, complete rug job. And remember, their last comments were going concern issues with Wework. So it's not as if there's a fundamental reason other than a squeeze, in my opinion, to be long the stock. And again, that's just my opinion. If they go under, they do. If they end up in the OTC, I don't know. But we got 30 seconds till the imbalances come out. I'm looking for a couple of names to be on there. We'll let you know what big tech is doing as well. And we'll see what happens with Roblox here. It seems to just be hanging out at VWAP. It would be nice if that came out with a buy and balance as well. We'll give it to you live in just about 10 seconds.
Thanks, Guanchi. Thanks, everybody in the chat there. Toronto, 4th largest city in North America. I don't know if that's true or not.
It depends on how you count the metropolitan and how big of a, I don't know. There's
here
always
we go.
different ways you can look at it.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, so let's see what happens now. I put it in the middle so you can see sort of the stocks when I start to click on them. Right now, there's that PTRA. Neil was looking for that, so it's good on that one. You do see right now 177.61, the bottom for Apple. Let's see if it can fall into that place and give us, once again, another dandy of a trade here into the close. What else is coming on here? Kenvue? Okay. Is that, yeah, Kenvue, KVEU. Isn't that what that is?
That's Kenvue.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we'll see what happens now with Kenvue. Kenvue's been actually not doing too well here on a daily chart. 27 down to 23 near the bottom there. A J&J subsidiary rollout there. Roblox. Okay, so again, we've really taken the money on that one. That's been awesome today. Again, shout out to Sticky Note Nation that's following that one. That was all, we were all over that. The second name on the sticky note today. Amazon with a sell. So, okay, yeah, not doing anything.
It's just a big cap.
Yeah, we're still waiting for 130, and then there's Wework down there. 700,000 shares. So nothing. Oh,
That's
Google.
nothing.
Google with the sell. Okay.
So very quickly, and again, like I've been saying this all day long, if you see those top two names of the list, this morning we opened with AMRS and PRTA getting deleted from the index. That's why I've been short the stock the entire day. That's why you saw it got cut in half. You saw it almost get cut in half again. PTR is the other one that we're in. So I'm not all in right now. This one's at the low. I should take something out. It doesn't want to break low of the day. I'll get a little something out here because there was a bit of a flash up on PTRA, did not get short, and then it cannot seem to break the low. I'll likely put these into the auction, but Wework is, you're right, it's pumping and dumping, boot burner. That's what it does. And there's nothing wrong with going long and trading names like this. Just understand the difference between a trade and an investment. And this is a good example of that because a lot of times what goes up must come down. Heck, man, like if you've been riding the upstart train, you're not upset if you rode that long. Everyone's happy when it's going up, but this stock just gave up 50% in, what is that, 4 days? 5 days? In 5 days, it's given up 50%. Like that is the entirety of the move from June to August. It had gone from $30 to $72 and right back into $32. So understand the nature of squeezes and all that good stuff. And you can ride the wave when it goes up. Just make sure you take profit. Make sure you have an out. Be disciplined. All that good stuff. But yeah, it's kind of nasty when you bag hold something like this and don't take the profit and then have it come back on you. And we've all done it before. I mean, I've held on to positions like the last 10% of my Virgin Galactic when it hit those ridiculous highs. And you're like, yeah, but I made so much on it, I'm just going to hold on to it. Well, it's kind of stupid to do that because all you're doing is bag holding at the end of the day. So no big imbalances outside of the penny stocks. Worth watching Amazon at that 1 million if for some reason it sticks around. We'll have a look at that. Roblox, it obviously didn't break down, and I don't see an imbalance on it. I guess I can sort by alphabet and then go to R. Roblox is not a name that usually has an imbalance, so it's not that I was expecting it. It's just if it had come out in our favor, here it is. It's 100,000 to buy. That's not very big, but 110,000 to buy. But it's done, what is it, like 21 million shares. So suffice to say that's not a significant imbalance at all on Roblox. 21 million shares, 100,000 imbalance is not going to cut it. I should just get out of it if it gets into those 70s and keep tightening up that stop. So a good bounce on Roblox, but that buy and bounce isn't going to do too much for it.
Yeah, we got out of Roblox. We still have a little piece left just to see what happens here into the close. But again, thanks for watching. Join me in a couple minutes there at the big desk with Brendo early, and then I'll be taking you guys till 4:30. Everyone's in luck because tomorrow it's going to be Obi filling in for me. So I'm gone tomorrow. A little bit of a long weekend here as I coach up the all-girls team for Little League. And we're in a tournament, so that should be a lot of fun. We're really excited for that. Already got the lineup. We were at practice last night. We're ready to rock and roll, and I'm excited for that.
Still
so,
catching?
yep, she's going to be catching tomorrow for sure. Practiced yesterday. She likes catching better than pitching. And because it's Little League rules, you can't. If you're a pitcher, you also can't be a catcher.
I've heard about this, and I
trying
really
to save the arms.
I love that rule because I know we had a friend that played in high school, and he was a good pitcher and catcher.
Yeah.
And he was like all the throws, and then he would pitch the next day.
Yeah.
And it's like every time the pitcher throws, you're throwing too.
Yeah, so
And he would throw like 300 pitches over a weekend.
Yeah, so they're protecting everybody. I mean, these are girls who are 9 and 10 years old. So, and they're going to be the only all-girls team. So,
awesome. This
is what we do. So we're getting, I like it because I get a lot of sort of cred for doing that, and I think it's important that we keep girls' sports obviously in everyone's mind. So yeah, that's awesome, and especially when you got really competitive athletes like I do at home. Okay, right here, there's AMD. Let's go, man. That's spin it.
Money.
I mean, right there. Is AMD gonna join the dollar club? Could. We're almost out though. So there's another fill down there at 110. Geez, guys, that was a big one for me, and I just hope that you guys were able to have some of that on as well. That was a big trade, and really, really brought spirits back here for me, and good. I mean, my spirit doesn't change anyways, really, but
355. I mean,
yeah, Roblox.
just a
we
quick
just
note.
got out. Yeah, go ahead.
I got out of Roblox. Yeah, got to get out of Roblox. But at 355, there's that major pairing event, which is on the New York and the NASDAQ. The imbalances, there you go. Outside of the penny stocks we talked about, those are the only ones still there. TLT, I don't know why, Intel, but you don't see Amazon anymore. You don't see any of that nonsense. I've mocked these, so I'm gonna take the closing print on AMRS. It is still tanking. It's got to 7. This has been, I can tell you, like it's not. I'm not saying it's free, but nothing is free money. But this is a penny stock that's getting deleted from the index. Who's going to want to buy it? Obviously, nobody today, as it continues to flush. The last one I want to be watching is that Lyft, holding $11 tomorrow. Got to at least look long on Lyft, right? I don't have to take long. Got to at least look long. This is one of the strongest names out there. Not that I'm a huge fan of the business, but it's one of the strongest names out there the last couple of days, especially in the afternoon when the market was flushing. This was holding highs. You always want to respect a stock that's going to close on the highs, especially into a little market weakness, and throw in the fact that it's been absolutely beaten up for a very long time. Maybe it just doesn't have any more to go to said downside. We got 3 minutes to go. What else do we got going on here? I haven't really looked at any. If there's any imbalances you want us to check out, I didn't really see anything there. If there's any other names you want us to look at, I'm just going to hold out for my 2 to close. NVIDIA would have been good to hold on to the short, but really, NVIDIA just in the dollar range, pretty much exactly where it was before. So in the same range where I was shorting it, worth it to have gotten away from that. Shopify, Matt Carnes, you want to look at that name? We can look at Shop. Sitting at near the high of the that's not bad. Good recovery for Shop. That didn't have an imbalance. I didn't see an imbalance on Shopify, but it had a decent move going into the close. I'll just double check for you to make sure. It's easy enough for us to do that. EFGH, scroll. There's 7,000 names in the market, and when you go alphabetically, is it there? Small sell imbalance on Shopify. Not a name that usually would, and it didn't even affect the stock. It's still going to close up 2.5%. And it is yet another name that is trying to find a bid. That is not bad. Previous resistance, previous support, bouncing off 55 on Shopify. So shout out to you, Matt. You've just found another one worth looking at for a relief bounce. Shopify off 55 tomorrow.
So something, it's too bad because, well, it's great to have Obi on, but Obi will tell you this story maybe tomorrow. I spent maybe 20 or 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes with Obi last week, pulled me aside as I was leaving, and I sort of gave him a little bit of advice. He could talk about that with you guys tomorrow. And I'm just proud to say that right next to, I'm beside him here on the leaderboard as well, is Obi. So congratulations to Obi today. Give a big bang for that, man. He traded it. I see the way he's traded. Congratulations on being near the top there, Obi, my guy. So again, good job on that. Hopefully some of the things that I had mentioned to you sort of stuck. And so good job there, Obi. And that's what I'm proud of these guys, to be honest with you, when they're able to sort of maybe change it up. I know Obi, like even after I'm done the after show, the only guy here is Obi. So, I mean, he was here yesterday. And I also said, like, dude, like, come on. Maybe we'll bring him on the show at some point. But congratulations to Obi for that one right now. So the force is strong with that one. Congratulations, Obi. You'll have a lot of fun with him tomorrow on the show as well. The imbalance was $1.5 billion to sell. So the market kind of headed down, but not really. Just hung out right there. Didn't do much on any kind of an imbalance today. So I know, Neil's obviously looking at those penny stocks. Those have worked out well. I covered everything, man. We covered Apple right there. We covered AMD. We covered everything. Everything got covered. AMD right there as well. They're all kind of at that same level. So with only, who's on the bell? It's good. Ramin's going to run over there ASAP with only 15 seconds left. Join me in the after show as well. But right now it's Miss Ramin on the ones and twos are on the bell. There we go. 7, 8. No, it goes the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at all the love there for Obi. And the thing is that, that's there we go. What's up, Obi? Give a wave, Obi. There we go. Yeah, there he is, man. Much love for that guy. Like I said, man, he pulled me aside, spoke to him. Hopefully he can tell you the story tomorrow about how that all went down. And congratulations to Obi. It's him with all the credit. I'm just glad that we had talked about it, because not only do the things that we teach other traders, it's learning from them as well. And so Obi right there, great job. And I hope some of the stuff that I was mentioning did work out for you. But all right, good job, Obi. Good job, everybody in the chat. I'm going to leave it now and run over there with Brendan. So let's just thank everybody and have another great day today.
Yeah, just checked our orders, make sure we got out of everything. The final print, if you're looking at penny stock, that was 6.5. So it was at 9, it printed 6.5. It started at 14 this morning. Cut in half twice today. You don't see that very often, so you want to take advantage of when you can. You got the after show coming through.
Yes, sir.
There's I know we didn't do the earnings board, but there was nothing. There was like one kind of maybe.
Yeah, we'll cover them as they show up.
There wasn't as many interesting names in terms of earnings, so not much to do with the earnings board there. I don't know how we finished up in the market there, Brendo. Are we going to the desk to figure out whether we got green?
See you in 2 minutes.
Hey guys, yeah, we are basically flat right across the board. So after all of that, we go up, we go down, we come back to essentially where we